Hi, here is a Zhouzheng Show. Right now, we are live reporting and 2012 TNLA Expo. This is the opening ceremony this morning for Zhouzheng Show. 好，各位观众您好，这里是周正访谈，我们现在正在做现场访问。那么这个背景呢，就是整个展览大厅这地方是一个德州的标志。我们在做现场采访。Hi, here's the Zhouzheng Show. Right now we are in the 2012 and the TNLA opening ceremony today, this morning. I'm very lucky. Here we are in the just making a live show where meet their president of the Amy Graham of the TNLA. And even yesterday, I met you there. I went there the awards. The TNLA awards. A lot of people got the awards. You know, they're very happy. Okay, here I want to ask you a question. And TNLA, could you a little bit introduce TNLA? Yeah. What's the difference between the TNLA? What's the relationship the Tucson TNLA Expo and the TNLA?
Okay. TNLA is a member organization. We represent about 1,600 people throughout the state of Texas, and it's actually companies throughout the state of Texas, landscape contractors, growers, retail garden centers, as well as the suppliers that supply the green industry in Texas. We are a group of people that are very interested in professionalism and legislative regulatory action that affects a lot of our opportunities for importing and exporting products in and out of the state and moving them throughout the state as well.
Okay, so today is the opening ceremony. Is 2000 TNLA, the Expo. We call Texas Nursery Landscaping Association Expo. So how many years you set up the Expo?
Have the Expo? The Expo has been around for 57 years. Wow. We've got people here that have been exhibiting for over 50 years themselves, just very specific companies.
Okay. And you know, right now, the world that faces the economic crisis, everybody know. But today I came to here, I still found a lot of people involved in the exhibition. So what do you think, as a president of the TNLA, what do you think of the green industry to the world?
Well, green industry is a very viable industry, and because of the environmental impact that our industry as a whole has, it's very, very important for us to stay healthy and strong as an industry. And I think that without a doubt, as we've got a lot of factors that are playing against us, we're the group of people who are the last ones to get moved in when it comes to commercial and residential properties. We're sometimes the ones that get the costs cut because we're perceived sometimes as the fluff. But the fact of the matter is because of the environmental impact of our products, I think we're very viable and will stay relevant throughout this economic downturn. I think TNLA, because we are actually around the 4th largest grower in the United States, we have a port, Port of Houston, that actually is very economic in the scheme of things as far as getting exports out of the country. We also have a Texas Department of Agriculture here that has worked with the green industry and kept us in a situation where we're able to move product both in and out of Texas as well as throughout the state. So while we've always got rules and regulations to follow, we're very fortunate this time that we are able to move product. We've got some incredible quality. There's some hardy Texas plants. When you talk about the things that are grown here under the conditions that we have, the drought conditions, the water regulations that we've got going here, we've got some very hardy plants that we'd love to share with the rest of the world.
Okay, and I from yesterday I involved a lot of the wonderful classes as a course. Your TNLA did. I made a lot of the wonderful speech, wonderful speaker that made a lot of the wonderful speech. They were so professional. They're from like the Texas A&M University, a lot of professors, a lot of doctors,
Dr.
Charlie Hall, and we made there a lot of wonderful speakers. They made a wonderful speech. So your team are really good organizer to this industry. So my question is, what's in the future? Your team area plan to do something cooperation with an international? Because today I still found your exporter to come from Europe, or even they have the base in the United States and like Texas, but they're still the largest the company like the Bulb company or some retailer company or like the service company from the largest in the United States. So your team ever plan to do the cooperation with international or the
we have actually in the past, we have welcomed people from Italy, some growers from Italy. In fact, just this past year, showed them around and toured them around with a lot of our facilities, people and places within the world that have a lot of the same climates. I say we're fortunate, it's one of our struggles, but we're fortunate to have a lot of growing zones so that we can appeal to a lot of different folks around the world based on the zone that they're in. But yes, we absolutely would love to host growers and exchange information with people all over the world. And working with Texas Department of Agriculture, we have continued that process in order to get our plants and it's it's a learning process. It's a mutual learning process that we love to participate. We are going to be in Dallas, Texas next year in August. It is hot. It's hot in Texas, but it's a little hot in Texas all the time. We'd love to share a little bit of Texas hospitality and invite you all to see the incredible plants, the incredible hardscapes that we have here at the show. We're Texas friendly and would love to host you when you come.
What do you think of this expo? I know this is the first day.
Well, it's a critical part of our marketing to be present in the TNLA annually because our core market is Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas. So my customers and potential customers will be here. It's a prime opportunity to introduce new products or services to the market. And this year we have a very exciting group of crepe myrtles called the Black Diamonds that will be shown for the first time. It's a development by the United States Department of Agriculture.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So this is your first time to involve this TNLA?
I've been attending and displaying at the TNLA for probably 20 years.
Oh, 20 years.
Yeah, so at least, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So what's your plan for the future business in the international business in another country? I know you are a Jibbery, you are representative a lot of the plants for the other countries.
Yes.
So you really did the international business. So what do you plan to the future for the international business?
Well,
how about China?
How about China? China is an opportunity. The rise of the middle class and the government policies that are in place to beautify and to be caretakers of the environment. I've been to China 4 times, and it's
4 times.
It's amazing. The problem.
Where have you been?
Mostly Hangzhou.
Hangzhou.
And
it's a beautiful city.
Yes, it is. And Shanghai, in that Ningbo area.
Good.
So my business opportunity is primarily domestic because of our market opportunities. With the box stores and new products and garden centers and landscape supply companies. So as a producer, we will focus on North America.
North America.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to access plants from China. China is very rich and their
it's
plant.
Growing. It's growing.
It's growing. Yes.
Yeah, it's growing economically.
Yes, and I have struggled to figure out how to fit into the Chinese opportunity. I think there is an opportunity for Chinese to participate in our market and us to participate in the growing Chinese market.
My wife and I love to do yard work. Even though I travel around and I speak for a living and I remind people of the simple things they can do to lead others and to lead themselves, even I need a reminder from time to time.
You just made the wonderful speech for everybody here, landscaping. And what do you think about the green industry in the right now? All the in the United States.
Sure, I think the green industry is at a critical point of growth. I think one of the most important aspects of what any employee can do in the green industry is the focus on their employees. Sometimes we focus on where we are as an industry related to outside forces, but I do believe that any green industry company can take their organization to a completely different level when we focus on leadership and the leadership of people, the engagement of people. How do we get people excited to do what they do for a living? How do we get it to where they want to be there instead of feeling like they have to be there? And so that was the kind of the focus of today's message, was how do we build that culture as leaders of the organization.
Have you been to China?
I've not been to China, no.
Okay.
No.
Every year China, like the United States, they have a lot of exhibition like the TNLA.
Yep.
So, but a lot of more Chinese people know this exhibition like this.
Sure.
I hope you have found the opportunity to go to China,
I
make
hope
the same speech.
Absolutely. I'd love to do
I will
that.
probably go do your interpreter.
Okay. Okay. Fair
And
enough.
what do you think after the speech? You really inspire. After I listened to your speech, you inspired everybody. Then after the speech, people ask you a lot of questions. What do you think you'll bring your speech to like the employee engagement and management department to give the landscaping nursery company? What's special for landscaping and the nursery industry like that?
I think the core of the message of engagement really works in any industry, whether it's in the landscape industry or the hotel industry or the telecommunications industry. I think the message obviously relates to all. It's just a matter of what effort and what focus we have as a leader and a desire to see the importance of that. I think too often we forget that is what drives our organization, and I think those principles apply whether it's in the landscaping business or any other industry.
Right now, everybody knows the world crisis,
right.
Economic. Doesn't matter is world crisis is bad or good, but everybody knows right now economic is goes up.
Right.
So, what do you think the leadership? How important the leadership today? When the economic is going.
Sure, I think it's incredibly important. I think people make their decisions based on who they're following, whether that's in their corporate world, whether that's in their personal life, whether that is politically motivated. I believe that people follow those leaders probably more so than the leaders ever realize, and I believe a key to us turning around the economic situation in our country is directly related to the leadership that we provide in organizations, not just from a national leadership standpoint within our country, but every leader in this organization here at this conference has an opportunity to get people to focus on their economy instead of the economy. And when we get people to focus on their economy, they realize the bridge they have to build to good quality leadership.
May I have your name?
I'm Joe Kenny.
Joe, nice to meet you.
That's my wife, Cherry.
I'm Cherry.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I heard people tell me you do the business for 25 years.
Personal business.
Yeah,
yes.
personal.
Yeah, personal business. So how many times you involved this export?
Well, I've been going to nursery trade shows for 41 years.
41 years?
41 years.
Wow. So before 25 years ago, you do the same business?
Yes.
So right now, everybody knows this is global economic crisis. Yeah. So what do you think of this business right now, your business?
Well, our business is off like everything else right now. We're tied into the housing market. And if the housing market is off, there's not as much demand for plants. So our industry has shrunk somewhat. Now, we're still doing fine. We don't have any debt, which is real good. So I think we can make it through this thing. But our industry has been hurt because of the lack of housing and construction industry in the United States. So it's slower than it used to be. But we're still doing okay, though.
Okay, so that's why you came here.
Yeah.
We want to promote the business.
This helps us to see our existing customers that already buys from us, and then also there are new people coming in that we will also get to meet at this show. It's never been here before, so that's exciting.
Okay, cool. And also, how bad or how good the economic, but green industry is really necessary for the world, right? Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
So your business is just for family or for all of the retailer or?
My primary customers are mom and pop individually owned retail garden centers. We also sell to some wholesalers that sells to the landscape trade, and we also sell to some of the local landscape trade in our part of the country. But we don't do any chain store business. No Home Depot, no Lowe's, no Walmart. Everybody that we sell to are independent garden centers.
Okay. I hope someday you can really go to the international expo, like go to China. China right now is really cool.
Okay. Too small to
well, one of the things about exporting plants with soil on it, you really can't do that. You have to go through a phytosanitary process, and that's real complicated to ship plants internationally.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do.
Right now, we're very lucky to meet their Professor Gu from Texas A&M University. She is a speaker. She just made a wonderful speech in the business management about the horticulture. So nice to meet you here.
Very nice meeting you.
Yeah, Professor Gu. So how long you were teaching the Texas A&M University?
Well, I teach nursery management class this fall. But then majority of my work is doing extension. I'm an extension specialist in commercial ornamental horticulture, so I teach the general public. We provide educational opportunities and materials to the general public, to the green industry. So that includes greenhouse, nursery production, and also landscape service industry. So.
Okay, so you are all students from the United States or from the international students?
The undergraduate students are enrolled in Texas A&M Department of Horticulture, so those are mainly domestic students. I have 2 international students who are graduate students. So when we teach outside of campus, it doesn't matter who you are, international or domestic. So.
Okay, so this is your first time, or how many times you involved the TNLA?
Well, I just changed my job to Texas A&M University, so this is actually my first time involved with the TNLA Expo education conference. This is my first time.
Yeah, this is also the first day. So what do you think about it today? Your students or you're attending, even after after your speech or one of your speech to the management, to the business management, you're a lot of the people that are active with your class. So what do you think of the people?
Well, I think this is a great conference, educational conference, and it offers many interesting topics, for instance, in business management, in pest management, in trees and turf, and also in drought tolerant, drought management. That's very relevant to the state of Texas. We just had a record dry year last year, and if you have been in Texas for long, you've seen that's been very hot. 3-digit, triple-digit degrees is not that rare. So this is. Anyway, again, this educational conference offers many interesting topics that's very relevant to the industry here in Texas and also in the surrounding areas.
Okay, here right now, everybody knows the world, the economical crisis, but right now, American economic leader goes up, and what do you think the potential for the green industry in the United States?
Well, in my opinion, I think this is actually a great time for the green industry. Like I was telling a story when I was making my presentation, that a salesman went to an island and saw nobody wearing shoes, and he said, oh, we can't do business there, nobody wearing shoes. Versus the other salesman went to the island and say, oh, we got great business opportunity here, nobody wears shoes, we could sell them a lot of shoes. So, it's really just one thing is how you look at it. So yes, it is a economic downturn here right now, but really, how you take a look at the situation matters. It's not what somebody else does, some other people do, but it's how you take a look at, position yourself and look at the situation from your own situation and then how to deal with it.
Okay, positive means
very
we have
positive.
The positive.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I think being positive is very important. Very important.
Yeah, great. And also, Dr. Gu, since you come from China, your background is China?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
yes,
from China.
Yes,
you speak Mandarin, but right now we're talking to our American audience. We have to talk English. But after that, I want to say something in Mandarin to our Chinese audience.
Sure.
So I want to know, in the green industry, I know right now, China grew up, GDP over the second in the world, and they have a lot of the, corporation for the world class or corporation for the China. So in this industry, as horticulture professor, what do you think? What's the really difference between China and the United States?
Well, there are many differences between the Chinese horticulture industry and the U.S. horticulture industry.
For example?
Yeah, for example, right now, I would say the biggest clientele in China, let's say use the landscape industry. In China, the biggest clientele in Chinese landscape industry is the government. It's either the central government, provincial government, or the new municipalities. It's the government. So the government is building parks or green the highways. So, and also they're building various theme parks or just public parks, and that's all government behavior. And the government is pumping a lot of money into this greening, greening the land, greening the city in this movement, versus here in the U.S., I think, the consumers, the homeowners are the main clientele in the landscape industry. So it's you and I are spending the money instead of, say, I'm sure the city of Houston has probably put a lot of money into greening, but the scale, we're just talking about, the scale of spending. So, I think in China, it's mainly the government behavior, and versus in the U.S., it's personal behavior. So that's one big difference. So when you go to China, let's say you drive from downtown Beijing to Beijing International Airport, you see miles and miles of trees planting that just,
landscaping, everything, flowers, everything,
And, and versus here, what our landscaping in the U.S. mainly focus on home landscaping. And of course there are commercial side, but definitely not to the scale or the size of what's happening in China right now. So that's one major difference in landscape industry. And then if we move on to the nursery industry, China is called mother of garden by Wilson, who's a plant explorer from Britain. Because he saw so many materials that was just not available in European countries. So China has this rich, rich is actually underestimate, rich resource of plant materials or plant species. And China has a very similar climate as U.S. But U.S. with limited plant species, there are so many cultivars, from the selection through nursery, individual private nursery research or the USDA ARS research, they have released so many cultivars. However, that has not been the main focus in the Chinese nursery industry. They're still just selling species instead of cultivars. So those are some of the main differences.
So, Professor Gu, what do you think in the future they're businessman and businessman, the business to business. What's the cooperation between the China and the United States? Like from commercial, like the businessman, the company and company. What do they have the cooperation to each other?
They have, how could they work?
They work together because
together?
Right now we just discussed the whole difference with them. So from the business.
Are you talking about the landscape industry, or are you talking about the nursery?
Landscape industry? Yeah.
How they could collaborate? I think right now, I would say the U.S. is at least slightly more advanced in terms of the landscape technologies and landscape concepts. So
even the management and
the management part, also the the technical part, and of course, in two countries the laws and regulations are different, so sometimes they may have to have different regulation. Also the culture is different, so the management skills of course are different. But then from the technical part, like here, everything, most of the plants are mulched, covered with mulch, versus in China, we didn't see any mulch used in the landscape. So, and there are many benefits of using mulch in the landscape. So that's just one example. Another example would be irrigation part. There are many either sprinkler irrigation or drip irrigation used a lot in the U.S. landscape, and in China there are still a lot of manual watering in the landscape, and sometimes that could be very dangerous in the highway, in the medium of the highway. So there are many differences. I think the companies from these two countries could combine their pluses and minuses, and combine their pluses and get rid of the minuses and work together that way. 大家好，我叫顾梦梦，我在中国原来是在毕业于北京林业大学园林学院，我的导师是苏雪恒教授，然后我在美国读的 PhD， 已经在这里工作将近6年，现在在德州农工大园艺系做助理教授。我的专长呢，主要是在园林维护、园林景观维护和安装这方面，还有园林植物、观赏植物的生产，包括木本、草本，这些方面。如果大家有需要有做研究或者其他的需要帮忙的话，请不要客气和我联系。我的联系方式在德州农工大园艺系的网页上可以找到。再说一遍，我叫顾梦梦。谢谢大家。
Thank you. Pretty so cool. Okay. 谢谢。What do you feel this TNLA, the opening ceremony and their trading show?
Okay, this is my first time to be here in Texas for the Texas Nursery and Landscape Association show, and really we're having a lot of people stop by because we do have the same acronym, TNLA, and they're going, oh, you're not Texas. And no, we're Tennessee. Tennessee's been around since 1905, so we've been a long history of nursery and landscape in Tennessee. And I'm here promoting the Tennessee Nursery and Landscape Association and also our trade show, which is in Nashville in January the 3rd and 4th of 2013. So that's the primary reason I'm here, and a great show. I'm proud to be here and meet all the people and exhibitors, other groups.
Yeah, I know your show is in United States. Right. Do your tell us like your TNLA?
TNLA.
Yes. TNLA. Do you plan to do the cooperation with outside of the United States as international company, or unite the international company involve your trading show, or you want to cooperate with other countries?
We have. Last year we had a company that was coming from international, and unfortunately their travel didn't get them there in time. So he said he's coming again this year, going to plan a little better for that. But we do also, our Tennessee Department of Agriculture does do international trade, and they bring people in to the state of Tennessee, and they also take our growers to outside the country to other states to do international trade. So we do international trade.
Okay, I want you to speak a little bit to our Chinese audience because this interview will be published to our Chinese audience.
Okay.
I want you to see, do you welcome their Chinese people or Chinese businessmen to your show?
Sure, I would love to have people from China to come to the Tennessee show. Like I said, we welcome all international trade, and we do have the Department of Agriculture is very definitely involved. The Tennessee Department of Agriculture involved in international trade. So we would welcome. I give you my card, and I can also put you in contact with someone with the Department of Agriculture to help with that.
Okay, thank you, Laurie. Yeah, thank you very much.